Fairy Queen Eve, December 16th. Created, directed, and presented by Reverend Dr. Dikki Mullen. As we see here, an elderly fairy queen. Obviously, she's had a long, laborious tenure as the queen, filled with many wise insights.
This is astrologer and parapsychologist Reverend Dr. Dikki Mullen, coming to you from downtown Orlando, Florida, with the mystery and mystique of December 16th, which is Fairy Queen Eve. Among the many celebrations related to Saturnalia, Christmas, Yuletide, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, there's one that stands out, and that is December the 16th as being different and yet very powerful and very traditional. We have a fairy queen there in front. She can be either beautiful and young or beautiful and elderly in her own way or an old biddy. And Melchizedek Pyewacket there has suddenly decided to make a cameo appearance. Maybe that adds to her power. Known in the calendar as Fairy Queen Eve, December the 16th, when it appears on calendars, which it does occasionally, attracts the curiosity of readers. What is it? There have been a lot of requests that I've had for an explanation about what this unfamiliar winter holiday really is, with its fey title. As is true with many of the passages linked to the old ways and traditional spirituality, Fairy Queen Eve can be celebrated on many levels. There's a Celtic tradition with a tie to Queen Maeve, the Queen of the Fairies, about the days leading up to the winter solstice, which marks a cycle when the gates to the other world, the afterlife, known as fairyland, tend to be more accessible to mortals. Maeve presides over her court, overseeing the preparations for the Cross Quarter Day in the old calendar of Yule. We have the winter solstice, the summer solstice, and of course the spring and autumn equinoxes as the other marking points. Yuletide is the longest of nights, and December 16th specifically marks the beginning of a 9-day period of grace, and it's linked to some early rituals in the Catholic Church that relate to the Queen of the Universe or the Blessed Virgin Mary. A very, very elderly woman, sometimes seen at a distance, who disappears or goes around a corner and disappears, or a very young, incredibly painfully beautiful person, lady, also is related to a visitation with the Fairy Queen. We have her here in her persona as the elderly lady, but next time she might appear as radiantly, almost painfully, angelically beautiful. Whichever way she appears, and it might be each or both ways, December 16th is a time of reverie, of sacred anticipation that begins at 4 o'clock in the morning, a sacred hour, on December the 16th. And then for the 9 successive mornings through Christmas Day, the enigmatic energies of a pre-dawn mass or spiritual service are sometimes dedicated to the Fairy Queen. She might be portrayed as a wretched old crone, an elderly fairy, or again the royal, beautiful, radiant being glowing with the dew of heaven, of fairyland. One of the most holy times of joy and penance, Fairy Queen Eve is most familiar in the cultures of the Philippines and Puerto Rico. December 16th is the start of a mass called Misa de Aguinaldo. Aguinaldo is a Spanish word meaning a unique gift. In Puerto Rico, the Mass is a completely musical one, and the Aguinaldo is the gift of special holiday songs. To call in the Fairy Queen, whether you see her as Maeve or Mary, withered or beautiful, obtain a bell a snow white or silver gilt candle. And during the pre-dawn dark hours of December 16th, ring the bell 9 times and light the candle, and then simply ask for her blessing. Be observant, for either the old woman or the lovely lady will likely appear to you, and most likely it'll be brief, from a glimpse, a distance. You'll wonder if it's really there, but it'll be during an outing before Midwinter's Day has passed. And this is to wish everyone a bright and magical Fairy Queen Eve. There's little enough magic in the world in some ways, and this is a way to recapture it that is tied in with Christmas and Hanukkah and the other celebrations of light in a different way.